Welcome to Screencast, Kind of Funny's only entertainment-based podcast where we come together and talk about streaming services, movies, and TV shows. We are streamed live every Friday around 11:30 on Twitch.
Between 11 and 1. We'll be streaming live.
Yeah.
Depending on if Fran's hosting in the morning.
Yeah.
Boy, that guy likes the sound of his own voice. You know what I'm talking about? Piece of shit.
On twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. If you don't have time to watch us live, that's okay. We are also VOD on YouTube at youtube.com/kindafunny and Rooster Teeth. If you don't want to see us and you just want to hear us, you can go to all your favorite podcast services. We are there. Kind of Funny Screencast. Look us up. If you like us, give us the thumbs up, the likes, whatever you can to help us do better. If you want to support us, you can go to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you could go to the bronze tier level and submit answers to my fun little questions that I throw at you. I'm your host, Kevin Coelho. To my immediate right, one Nick Scarpino, the man with the three-fingered movie
Not
review.
one, not two. With 3 fingers, Kevin.
Sure.
That's what I like to review things with. That's what I like to review things with, ladies and gentlemen. Let's review it one more time. Ready? Good, good. Good, bad. Bad, bad. Bad, bad.
I got it, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you watched anything good this week?
Oh, God, I got to start
good,
preparing for
good.
this question.
Same
I
every week.
watched... Last weekend, I watched Always Be My Maybe.
Oh, cool. Me too.
Which I didn't particularly care for.
Oh.
I thought it was...
Still haven't seen it.
I
It's
thought
on
it
the
was
list.
entertaining, but I thought it was incredibly slow. And I like everything that happened in the movie. It's a very weird criticism, okay? But I want them... It's almost like I want the editor to go and remember like back in the old days where they had a 2-hour and 15-minute movie and it had to fit a 2-hour time slot, so they'd speed it up just a little bit, and you'd be like, I didn't realize Batman's voice was that like high pitched.
The other way around, right?
Either way, they'd either speed it or they'd either slow it down or speed it up. But usually they'd speed it up a little bit, so they'd cut parts out or speed it up, and so the voice would be a little higher and everything would be a little bit more energetic, and people would talk a little too fast. You're like, I don't remember that pacing be that way. That's what I wanted with Always Be My Maybe. I felt so subdued the entire time. And I'm like, how did you get Ali Wong and Randall Park to talk that slowly? It's just very weird.
I don't think that it was a long movie, right?
It felt long.
Interesting. I enjoyed it a lot.
Got real short though when Keanu Reeves came in. That was a great part.
Oh, so good. Yeah. I also forgot that was happening.
Me too. Totally
And when
forgot.
it happened, and it's funny because like the trailer made it feel like that. I mean, that was a really long trailer, but when that happens in the trailer, I was like, oh, this is going to be the main focus. It isn't.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic. Keanu Reeves playing Keanu Reeves.
But Keanu Reeves is playing like a ridiculous version of Keanu
Is he
Reeves.
though? We don't know Keanu
We
Reeves.
don't. But there's a moment where oh, it's a brief spoiler, but I don't care. It's fucking hilarious. I'm gonna tell you anyway. There's a moment where they're eating this ridiculous dinner, and they go, they're like, "What would you like for your next course?" And he goes, "Can you give me something that plays with time?"
It's really good.
It's really.
I can't wait to watch it. I'm kind of bummed that you didn't.
Keanu is the best part. It's worth watching.
Does.
It's just not it's just not what I want. I wanted it to be a little bit more fast and improv-y and a little bit more quick-witted, and it's more actually of a drama than it is a comedy.
Yeah, I'd put it at like a 7, maybe a 6.5, but like in a good way, not in a, you know, it's not losing.
I appreciate Netflix doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that we just get this constant like rom-com drama.
I feel like I worry about Netflix though.
Why?
Because I feel like their originals have come out lately and been kind of okay. And I worry that that this is the trend, and once they start losing all the Marvel movies and Star Wars movies, we're going to be stuck with they're like a bunch of like oversaturated like stand-up comedy specials and like some so-so originals.
But I feel like people want that though. Like I feel like there's a comfort in these movies coming out because like I haven't loved any of them. Any of the, whether it's the
Laura Condor,
or the Tallowist I loved before.
How dare you? You say it with more reverence than that, you son of a bitch.
Lizzo.
The one about Lizzo?
They're all the same. Like it's all the same movie, just being put out constantly. I'm just as excited to watch the next one though. Like there's something that's just like they always have enough entertaining aspects, and I like the casts more often than not.
To me, they're getting to the point though. They're almost to the point where I turn them off. Where like in the first like with Always Be My Maybe, it was I was really going back and forth in the first like 10 minutes of that film as to whether I wanted to watch the rest of it. It just didn't hook me.
Interesting.
they're kind of just pounding them out, and I don't think they're paying too much attention to these that much. And I think the ones that are based on good, like at least source material, tend to be a little bit more well-rounded. Like I know you didn't love To All the Boys I Loved Before, but like as a structure, it had better structure than this one. This one's kind of loosey-goosey and kind of weird, but you know, to each their own.
My only like issue with it was like I wish Randall Parks was a little bit kookier.
Yeah,
he was a normal person.
He's also a fucking loser. Let's just be honest.
Yeah,
there's no way she would have wound up with
him. Sure, 100%.
A multi-millionaire, famous chef, and this dude's like...
People take, loss differently, and sometimes they get into depressions the last many years.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
I will say the other thing I've been watching, though, is a series that I think is just getting better, is My Next Guest Needs No Introduction, which is the David Letterman interview show. And I liked the first season, even though I thought he needed to be a little bit more... I thought he could have delved a little deeper into his interview subjects.
Yeah, you said they were a little softball.
This one I think is a lot better. So I watched the Ellen DeGeneres one, and it's a really, really good deep dive into her, and she gets into like some past abuse issues. She gets into when she came out.
And this is a weekly show, right?
I think they gave up on that format.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think they just took all the because all the seasons were available, unless I just missed them. Which it's possible that they launched 4 weeks ago. And
I think season 2 just debuted.
Okay, then they're all available.
Did you watch Kanye?
I tried watching Kanye. Now, and I want to say this with as much delicacy as possible, is that I think Kanye is a very, very fascinating person but he seemed very medicated during this interview, to the point where the first 5 to 10 minutes of it, he was answering all of Dave's questions with one answer questions, which for an interview show where you're the subject is not necessarily...
One answer words.
What's that?
One answer words, not questions.
I'm sorry, one answer word. Okay. One word answers.
Because it'd be funny if he was like, why?
Will I? Sorry. So like Dave would be like, how's the family? And he'd go, great. And then they'd cut to Kim Kardashian and she's in the audience. And then they come back to him like, and then Dave would have to fill time. So I'm like, I just don't know if Kanye is the best interview subject unless he's in a specific mindset. But I skipped over that one and I started watching the one about the Formula One racer, and that is absolutely fascinating. Guy's like 27 years old, super good looking, super charismatic, came from nothing. His dad worked 4 jobs to get him into racing, and now he's a 5-time world champion, and it's fucking awesome. And you know how they do the thing where they go, like, I don't know if you guys watch this or not, but the interview show itself it's an interview, and then they cut 2 segments that they've pre-produced. So like Dave goes and kart races with these kids that are coming up, and they fucking smoke his ass. It's really, really fun. Yeah, the Kanye one was unfortunately not fun for me.
After GFL sleep last night, I went to watch the Kanye one, and instead of that, I just watched the trailer for the Jay-Z one again, which I've already seen. God, Jay-Z's just so fun on camera. Like, I like it when he's not serious, when he's just kind of like...
He's a little goofy.
He's just goofing around, and it's like, it does take the seriousness of the interview down, which makes it kind of feel like less of a quality piece of content and more of like just like a late night talk show. But Jay doesn't do too many of those things.
Well, so you can tell too, right? When you see Jay talk, he feels a little fish out of watery, like doing a long form interview like that, and it's good. That's good. It is good. It's nice to see him in that light, because you're normally used to like when you think Jay-Z, you think like this guy's a fucking icon, right? And he's like a master of his trade, and then you see him in this interview, and it's like, oh, okay, well. It's kind of cool to see him a little off foot and fun and talking about life and stuff. But it's a very good series. I think Dave's getting his footing with it, and I think he's able to push it a little farther. Because I talk about the one where he had an interview with President Barack Obama, and it was very surface level. And I'm like, I honestly think that Jerry Seinfeld's interview in Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with Barack Obama was better than Dave Letterman's hour-long interview with him. So take that for what it was. But both definitely worth watching this newest season.
To your right, my left, Tim, not Joey Noel Geddes.
Tim, Two-Eyed Geddes.
Two-Eyed Geddes.
How your eyes doing, big cat?
Not well, man. Now the other one's acting up, but it's all good.
Don't put your glue in the other one.
We'll get there. I did.
Put the glue in everything.
I'm putting the glue
Whenever
everywhere.
he puts it in,
put it in
he
your
like
mouth.
walks around and he's like tearing. It always makes me so sad.
It is a colored liquid that is not quite clear.
It looks like semen.
Everything's like rose colored.
It looks like semen.
Yeah, all over my
I was
face.
wondering what having some spooge in your eyeball felt like, and now you can just tell me firsthand.
He didn't say that it feels the same.
It doesn't feel good.
Just shoots right out.
Teary. Anyways, I watched last night, finally, the Unauthorized Bash Brothers Experience.
Oh, how was it? Oh. It was like 30 minutes, right?
It is a 30-minute visual poem from the Lonely Island.
Who keeps giving these guys money to do this? And please give them more.
Was it good?
So I watched it, and then afterwards I did extensive reading into the
Bash Bros.
The why.
Yeah.
No, not about the Bash Bros.
Oh, okay.
About Lonely Island. About like what happened, like how this came to be. And I feel like I should actually start there.
Before I want to know if you liked this or not, because it looks weird as fuck.
I did enjoy it. I don't know that I liked it.
I don't know what you mean by that.
It's weird as hell.
Are you familiar with this?
Yes.
Okay. I watched the trailer and I was like, oh, interesting. It's going to be like a movie about the Bash Bros with musical interludes. And then I looked at the time and it's 30 minutes. I'm like, no, it's all singing, isn't it?
It's like it's not a parody.
It's like a Little Dicky video.
It's almost like
30 minutes.
No, it's like an homage to Lemonade, the Beyonce thing, or to Dark Twisted Fantasy, the Kanye like album as a short film, essentially. So it's 30 minutes of the story that is all tied together via music,
right?
And music videos. But the whole thing started with last year at the comedy festival in San Francisco. Clusterfest. Lonely Island had their first ever concert.
Oh.
We almost went.
But
we didn't. And at that concert, so they're from the Bay Area. So they decided that they were going to... Yeah.
I thought they were from East Coast. Really?
West Coast,
Berkeley.
Best Coast, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought they were like New York
West
guys.
Coast, Best Coast.
So they're from Berkeley, and
I apologize.
they grew up here and were big fans of the Oakland A's, the Bash Brothers.
Sure.
Jose Canseco
That's the one.
and Mark McGuire.
I think that's both
back in the late 80s, right? And they thought it would be funny, since they're doing the first concert in San Francisco, to kind of have a bit about that. And like, it totally sounds like one of those dumbass like KFAF things of like, it'd be funny if we put a blindfold on this thing and did that.
Hey, we can
like,
only wish that we have that kind of success with KFAF.
But my thing is, it's a level of success that you can just do whatever the hell you want.
Sure.
One thing that just came to your mind that you thought might be funny, it's like, fuck it, let's do it. It'd be like if we actually called ourselves Mouth Pudding. Like, it's that level of just like, I guess
we thought about it, folks. We thought about calling ourselves.
I'm just saying, an
Mouth
M
Pudding.
and a P look real good together.
Absolutely.
So they came out on stage, and one of them was Jose Canseco, one of them was Mark McGuire, and the third one was Joe Montana, who is a 49er football player.
Was he really a Joe Montana, or was it like Jorma Taccone? It was just the three of them. They didn't actually get Joe Montana out, did they?
No, it was the three of them.
It would have been cool if they got Joe Montana out.
But then that wouldn't make sense. It doesn't matter.
None of this makes sense. I apologize. Keep going.
They go out and they just do a stupid bit about this, and like how funny it is of them being like, we're in the 80s and we're the coolest people in the fucking world. So they decided that bit was funny enough to them that in their off time, while the three of them, they're no longer doing Lonely Island stuff like consistently.
I don't think they're doing anything, right? Like Andy Samberg's got
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
But yeah, I guess they're doing the next season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But that's pretty much it, right?
I mean, but that's a lot.
But the other two guys aren't doing shit.
They are. So that's the thing, is they one produces a lot of movies, and then the other one just finished doing the
Bachelor.
The comedy show on Netflix that you love. The Tim Miller.
Yeah.
I think you should leave now.
I think you should leave now.
I should probably watch the rest of that.
He produced that.
That's Akiva, right? Akiva Schaffer is the guy that does like directs a lot of the stuff and produces most of the stuff. He's seldom in the things, but he's in this one. He's one of the Bash Bros in this one. That's him right there. Because Jorma Taccone.
Jorma's the one that's usually not in him.
Jorma's always in him.
This guy's always in him.
That's Akiva. No.
Yeah.
Jorma's always in him. Jorma's in Hot Rod. He was like the main character.
I don't know that matters. Let's move on.
In the Lonely Island, it's usually these two.
Okay.
He's like the background guy. But so they decide they're going to do this, and they're like, the whole point of it was, we're just going to, in our free time, when we're just hanging out on the weekend as bros, let's just go to the studio and see what happens. Let's just get in the mindset of these characters and just write songs.
Sounds crazy.
With no goal.
Yeah.
They weren't like trying to do any of this. Then eventually they had enough songs that they're like, there's a whole story here. And the whole thing was them making songs based on what they thought of these baseball players when they were 10 years old. So it's like these guys are gods to them. All right.
Oh, they were gods to everyone. I didn't even like baseball, and I knew who Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire were.
Being from around Oakland and stuff with all this happening, like they were just like legends. So this entire 30-minute thing is just a bunch of music videos of them with their over-the-top ideas of what their lives would have been, and even their over-the-top Kevin ideas are ridiculous because they're literally just rapping about Hillsdale Mall, and like they're in Hillsdale Mall.
That's amazing.
Which is like
the
most specific random thing. So they shopped this thing around, and it was kind of just giving it away. The budget was like nothing for this. And they just fucking made it happen for fun. And then they were talking to someone.
They had the songs done and were looking for budget to actually produce.
They weren't looking for anything.
Okay.
They're just like, fuck it, we're doing this. It hit a point they're like, we're just going to invest money into this and make it happen. So they did.
This is exactly like KFAF. Exactly.
And then they're like, we don't know like what we want to do with it. We want to put it somewhere. They were going to just put it up on SoundCloud and just see if anyone found it.
That's amazing.
That's really cool.
But then they ended up talking to the guy that helped get the I Think You Should Leave Now onto Netflix, and they're like, we got to put this on Netflix. And they're like, I don't know that anyone's gonna give a shit. They're like, we got to do it. It's like, it feels like more of an Adult Swim thing, and they're like, nah, put it on. So they did. Wait, directed by Mike Diva.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I just looked at it. It says Akiva Schaffer and Mike Diva helped direct this, or both directed this.
Insane.
Mike Diva.
And when you see it, it is clear as fuck.
That's
it
Mike
is the
Diva.
most. It's 30 minutes of Mike Diva and Lonely Island together.
Is there some sort of collie that has lasers coming out of its eyes? Because if not, it's
there's
not
a lot of lasers out of a lot of things' eyes. It takes place in the 80s. And it is.
You know, the 80s when lasers were invented.
Blur of ridiculous Bay Area references that make no sense. Very, very specific. Talking about specific round tables.
Funny?
Kind of. I would say
you hated this thing.
No, I didn't.
You hated it.
Sounds like you hated it.
I hated it. Yeah. But no, the final song was worth the whole thing.
Okay.
I think like it was actually great. But I'm like, why were all the rest of them so fucking weird? This is one of the weirdest things that I've seen on Netflix. Like with the level of production that it has and like the level of names associated. You're just like, all right, like I don't want to ruin the cameos. Throughout the entire thing, there's some cameos you're like, all right, I guess you're a part of this. That's cool.
God bless it.
So would I recommend watching it? If anything that I said sounds interesting, yes. If it doesn't, don't watch it.
I'm not going to watch it.
I kind of want to watch it because I'm a big Andy Samberg fan. I love these guys. I'm giving them shit, obviously, but I love them.
Do you love them because of this show you like?
What, Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yeah, or
no,
I don't
know that they don't do too much on that show. I know Andy Samberg produces it, but I don't know if it's like it's not a Lonely Island show. It's just Andy Samberg's
I thought
production.
Andy Samberg was the guy on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
He is.
Oh, he is?
Yeah. He plays the main character, Detective
Did you like
Peralta.
it before that?
Oh yeah, no, I've loved these guys ever since Hot Rod.
Sure.
I didn't realize, I didn't know their lineage, but I saw Hot Rod. I knew he had done some digital short stuff, and I remember obviously like Dick in the Box and all that shit. But I remember Hot Rod being the first time I saw these guys together, and I'm like, this movie is fucking brilliant. And it was my first time seeing Danny McBride, and I fell in love with all of them. He is perfect in that movie. Perfect.
Yeah,
go watch Hot Rod. Oh god,
I've never seen
funny.
it either.
It's about Andy Samberg plays the character is like he wants to be a daredevil.
Yeah,
that's it.
I'm looking it up to see where it's streaming.
Oh my god, it's so Danny McBride plays. I don't even want to spoil it for you guys. It is exactly what you would think with that pitch. If he just wants to be a daredevil, like jump his bike on stuff, and they're just these guys in this neighborhood that do that.
I mean, that's what these guys do. They just have a dumb idea and they're like, fuck it, we're going for it. It's just like Never Stop Not Stopping.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I feel like that title was a little off what we just said.
Oh yeah, was it? I don't know.
Never Stop, Never Stopping.
That's what it is. Never Stop, Never Stopping. Which I didn't particularly care for.
It was fun.
I wanted it to be more of a movie.
Only stream it on Stars, which I don't
Damn
have.
it.
So, or else I have to pay $4, and it just doesn't feel like a $4 purchase.
Worth it. Buy it.
It bums me out because Hot Rod is like one of Alyssa's favorites too, and she had it on DVD.
It's so fucking funny.
And I was in the mood to watch it like sometime like a year ago, and I opened up the DVD case, wasn't in there.
It's just missing?
Yeah, it's missing.
It's tragic.
Like he was like, my name is Rod and I like to party. It's funny if you see the movie. And it was called Pop Star, not Never Stop, Never Stopping. Sorry.
Well, Never Stop, Never Stopping is like the subtitle to Pop Star.
Yeah, correct.
Did you watch anything else, Tim Tam?
Just the interview stuff that we've been having to do.
I watched Always Be My Maybe. I enjoyed it. I also watched Good Omen, which I did not enjoy.
Really?
Yeah, I was hoping that it was going to be a lot of fun, and there was just like it does a good job building it up and kind of making you feel like it's going somewhere, and I just don't feel like there's a payoff. And it's just like 2 episodes in. I want to say it's only 4, maybe 6 episodes, and like no, it's 6 episodes. And 2 episodes in, I was like, I don't know if I want to keep watching, and then I forced myself to keep watching because I do like David Tennant a lot, and his acting is just great. But I kept hoping that it would get somewhere that it never got. So
see, I'm just not a Doctor Who fan, and I think you got to be that to like get behind the David Tennant train, right?
He's done other things.
Yeah. He's in Harry Potter.
He's in Harry Potter.
He was like a side character in Harry Potter, first off. My touchstone for him was when he played Killgrave. Killgrave in Jessica Jones. And to be fair, he was
great in
awesome in that. This is one that I saw the preview for, and I'm like, I could really go either way on this.
I thought we did a preview here, but
we may have watched it. I'm a big fan of the other guy. What's now Martin Sheen? Or no, not not Martin Sheen. Michael Sheen, who I think he's great.
I don't like him.
I loved him ever since he played Tony Blair in The Queen. Great movie, by the way. The Queen.
And then the last movie I watched, Dark Phoenix.
Oh, you saw Dark Phoenix?
I saw it last night.
Kevin.
Oh my god!
Actually, before I talk about that, I want to talk about the movie I watched before Dark Phoenix, which is Endgame. My little brother had never seen Endgame, and
this is that Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, we gotta go watch it. It's still in theaters right now. In very few theaters. Really sad to see how hard it is to watch it.
For like 4 months, so.
No, it's way less than that.
I'm just fucking with you.
But I mean, I was a little shocked that I couldn't watch an IMAX, regardless of how bad I wanted to watch an IMAX with good seats.
It's summer, dude. Like, there's just so many IMAX movies coming out.
You're right. But we watched it, and what a phenomenal movie. And I was weirdly seated next to him, who he had stayed away from basically all spoilers. He was just, one thing had been spoiled to him, and it's not a huge thing. And then the dude on my right seemed like everything, like he had never seen it either. And it was just like, well, what an interesting experience to be bookended by these two guys that like
fucking cavemen. time warped over here.
They were just shocked.
My luck would be I go see it again and I get the one guy that's never seen a Marvel movie. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Who is this guy with the purple fucking face?
Anyways, it was really good. God, I can't believe how much I enjoy that movie. I've been watching it for now my third time. It's such a blast. Doesn't look like, the numbers don't look like it's gonna beat.
No, but yeah, you know what? Number 2, it's fine.
You know what?
I guess
it came way closer than any of us.
Yeah.
It really did. It really did.
It's something like 70 million away, and it just the weekend numbers that it hits. I think last weekend it was still like hitting 10 million, and it's in less theaters now than it was.
Yeah.
Well,
it's it's about 67 million away.
There you go. 67 million away. And then we went to watch.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that that's how close they came?
I know.
That's nuts.
Bro, I mean, even that 67 million is like,
that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Like when you look at other movies, box offices, right?
I mean,
like,
let's put it this way.
It's crazy that like even now it's like, oh, it only got 10 million last weekend.
A movie I forgot to mention that I watched because I think I watched it so early on the weekend last was Booksmart, and that's a fucking.
Fuck! Wait, I watched that with you.
So we watched it like very close together. So I mean, just as put in context, I doubt that made even close to $68 million. I probably made
I think it made like 50 million.
Did it make 50?
So that
for a movie like that, $68 million would be amazing. This is one of my absolute favorite movies of this year so far.
Me too.
I fucking loved this. It is a movie that outwardly you look at, you're like, this should not appeal to a 39-year-old straight male, but I fucking loved it. I loved it. I thought Olivia Wilde and the crew and the actresses and everyone that put this together. Shout out to the casting director because the casting was perfect in this. If you're not familiar with it, it's about 2 female best friends, one of whom is out as a lesbian, and it's their final day of school, and they realize that they spent their entire time studying to get into good colleges, and everyone got into good colleges, irregardless of them like having fun or not. So they went, holy shit, we wasted our high school career. Let's go fucking party. And it is a perfect indie coming of age movie about these 2 girls. And it's so relatable on so many fucking levels. And it's almost like a modern day, like 80s coming of age movie. Like it's exactly what a coming of age movie should be right now. And shout out to Olivia Wilde for putting this together because it's fucking great.
It's beautiful.
I thought
a beautiful movie.
Fantastic, super funny. The writing was such high quality. And
Beanie Feldstein's is a goat.
All of the aspects of it just came together so well. I love the cameos that they have. Carrie Fisher's daughter.
She's so good.
Billy Lord is
so good.
My favorite thing in the movie. She is so funny, so fantastic every time
totally
that she's
wrong.
used.
I think Godzilla got 50 million. It did, in fact.
Yeah, but Booksmart's budget was probably like 3 mil. What was the budget on it?
It doesn't say yet. That comes way later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, and
Go watch this movie.
I've been listening to the soundtrack from this too. Somebody had a lot of fun getting all the rights to all the music in this because it's way too many songs in it, and it just works. Like everything's got a musical beat.
If I remember correctly, I think it was Dan the Automator.
There's a guy named Dan the Automator that does the. He does a lot of the scoring for it, but is he the one that put the soundtrack together? I think he also
put the soundtrack together.
That dude's awesome.
He legendary DJ. He's
Dan
amazing.
the Automator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a dope name.
He's awesome. He's worked with the Gorillas a lot, and like he's that type of vibe.
Got
in the Bay Area scene of everything.
Good in Gaming 611 says, has Nick ever seen in the chat? Says Nick ever seen Superbad? Because that's a really good comparison. It's very Superbadish.
But I'd say better.
I think it's more.
I'd say better too.
I think it's a lot better because I think the style of this, the thing that I really appreciated about this was that it kind of seamlessly goes from being a almost slapsticky silly comedy to being a really heartfelt, like impactful indie, and then going back to comedy. Like there are moments where and it's all in. I mean, the actors are phenomenal, but it's all in how it's shot as well, where they do a lot of close-ups and they do a lot of really shallow depth of field for things, and it has that like there's a lot of moments where they go into this like almost dream state with the actors. And like, there's a great moment in the middle. I don't want to spoil it for people, but like that, the whole party scene, it's just there's so many good.
The pool scene.
The pool scene is phenomenal. She's just swimming through, and it's like the first time she's realizing that like they're like there's so many different feelings,
pool scene
sexuality, and like coming and like they're growing up and they're not in high school anymore, and they're adults and no one's supervising them, and then how that ends and how the whole thing
and how the tone changes in that pool scene, because like it goes from there's a shift that's really well done.
It's so beautiful, and the music.
Olivia Wilde's directorial debut, like that's insane.
Knocked
it out of the park. And I feel like the Superbad comparison is apt in many ways, least of which being that Jonah Hill and the main character are brother and sister, which blows my mind.
Isn't that crazy?
But watching this, I feel like
Jonah
this is a better movie than Superbad, and I feel that even compared to when it came out. Like, I think that this is better now than Superbad was then, and I loved Superbad then.
Superbad, obviously, I think the comparison for that is the new Seth Rogen movie that's with the sixth graders. Good Boys, I think is what it's called.
No, I mean, I feel like that is a step below what.
But I feel like that is a more Superbadish movie, because Superbad relied a lot on like kind of lower brow humor, like the Dick Strong and stuff like that, and it had a lot of that in it.
But I feel like
Superbad also gave us McLovin. It also gave us McLovin.
Absolutely, Superbad went there. I don't think Good Boys will.
I think I just think Booksmart's a lot smarter. It's a lot well written, and it doesn't, and it plays with the tropes of like this, all the really social issues in a very fun, it feels very refreshing commentary on like feminism and like social justice and all these things, where you get them sort of, there's meta commentary on top of that, as these two very smart women are like growing up and like realizing that they thought they had everything figured out, and they really don't have shit figured out. And that they thought they knew all these assholes who are just these stereotypical tropes, and maybe they don't. Maybe everyone's a little bit more well-rounded and a little bit deeper than you think they are. And I think that's a really cool message to send out.
Yeah, I feel like Superbad did that too. I thought that it wasn't just a comedy. I feel like Good Boys, was it called Good Boys?
Yeah.
I think it's more someone like Cockblockers.
I'll be honest with you though,
than I would Superbad or Booksmart.
I was not on board.
I hate this
with that movie. Remember we watched it and I was like, this movie's not hitting. Saw it on the big screen. And I was like, oh God, I want to see this movie.
I'm on board. I laughed my ass off.
The kid's like, oh,
you think it's gonna be dead?
I think it's going to be Cockblockers funny. I thought Cockblockers was funny.
Watching it in theaters, I had the opposite reaction of Nick, where I was like, the trailer in theaters, I was like, oh yeah, I don't know, this is gonna be good.
You know what it is? I don't know. I just was in a good mood. I was in a silly mood. I was seeing a movie that I wanted to see. Great seats. No one next to me that smelled like a bum. And I was like, I'm in a great space right now mentally. And that movie came on. And when he goes, on all beads. They're like nunchucks. They smell like shit.
That moment where it's like, they smell like shit, I was just like, ugh. That's the level of comedy that we're getting out of this movie.
Yeah, you know what though? It knows what it is. It knows what it is. It's not trying to be anything more than this. Well, so maybe we'll like it. We'll see.
All right, now to actually talk about the Dark Phoenix. Man, this movie did not need to get made. Like, it's overall, it's so bland and just very boring. The acting's not great. Like, the characters are...
Did it seem like the people in the movie didn't want to be in the movie? Because that's kind of what the trailer looks like.
Yeah, I mean, what's the girl that plays Sansa?
Sophie Turner.
Sophie Turner. I'm not a big fan of hers. And she's such a big part of this movie. Like, so many of the scenes, I'm like, oh, this just looks like you're trying to act.
Was there anything surprising? Like, anything you did enjoy from it?
I'm thinking.
Was there a cool Quicksilver scene? I feel like there's a cool Quicksilver scene.
There usually is, and I feel like this movie started having, then it just stops, and it's like, oh, I hope we get that again, and it's like, nope. Also, there is a very, very short scene that it's kind of like, it's all like the older kids hanging out, kind of having a party. We get a cool cameo that we've like of someone we haven't seen before, where it's like, oh, that's this person. I hope we see more of. Nope. That's all that we're gonna get of that character.
Does Olivia Munn come back?
No.
Be cool if she did that, right? She does a little flippy thing that doesn't really make a lot of sense because she flips like backward from
and
where
it's
she
like
should
super
flip.
slowly.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
And they try to make her cool, but she's not. That character's not cool.
Just overall, like the story, they went such a weird route where I was like, I don't know who these characters are that are coming to like what was it, the Jessica Chastain character? I was like, I have no idea who and maybe my knowledge of X-Men is not good enough.
But I mean, if you don't know that, I feel like there's an issue if after watching this movie you still don't understand.
I mean, like, I understand who they were kind of, but like if someone was like, oh yeah, they were made up, they were not part of the comics at all, I'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Just overall, what a sad kind of ending to the X-Men. Like, I wish they had gone in there and done reshoots and really like fucked shit up, or like if this is the last movie and you're reshooting stuff, like make an impact. But it felt like
in the final moments, did it at all feel like a bow tie at all? Or
absolutely not.
Wow, that's very unfortunate.
So I wouldn't recommend watching this.
Without spoilers, any interesting deaths?
I mean, there's the one that we know about because it was spoiled in the trailers and interviews. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. It's so disappointing. The X-Men franchise overall has been so disappointing, and it's just sad. But there is a silver lining to it, in which hopefully New Mutants never comes out, and this will be the last one we have to put up with. And then in a few years from now, we'll start getting real good X-Men movies from Marvel.
They keep pushing the date for New Mutants. They keep being like, no, it's going to happen. And it's just
they should just shelve that fucking movie or put it out on Netflix.
But I mean, they've got such awesome actors in it.
This is going to be the question, though. This is going to be the big question, right? Is that like the timing, I think, on this is really interesting because we'll see if Sophie Turner and Maisie Williams, is that her name? Yes. We'll see where they go. Because I think these two movies were, I think they were hoping for a lot of the hype of the final season of Game of Thrones to help push these. And I'll bet that they kind of go and fade away after the series is gone.
I like Maisie Williams as an actor.
I like them both. I like Sophie Turner too.
I haven't seen her in a
without
role
Game of Thrones to
like,
anchor them, it's gonna be hard.
Aside from Game of Thrones, and I've never really enjoyed her in Game of Thrones, Sophie Turner.
She's so solemn.
Yeah.
Solemn.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't recommend going to watch Dark Phoenix unless you absolutely have to for, an in-review show. So good luck with that, boys.
I mean, the thing is this. It's not fine. I'll go see it at noon on a Saturday, eat a popcorn, and it's fine. I'm sure it'll be every bit as not enjoyable as Apocalypse.
No, it's better than Apocalypse.
Is it really?
I mean, I hated Apocalypse.
Well, Apocalypse to me was enjoyable. It wasn't. I'm sorry, let me back up. It wasn't like, I wasn't like, oh God, this movie's so boring. I was like, all right, it's fine. I'm still seeing Michael Fassbender and there's some cool shit happening. And we get a fun Quicksilver scene.
My cool. Biggest issue with
the kids in the 80s clothes.
The X-Men series it just doesn't respect its own history. In Apocalypse, we see a scene where Jean Grey saves the day and there's a giant phoenix looking, a bird of fire behind her.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's not at all connected to this.
Because this is like years later, right?
Yeah. This is 1992. And it's just not connected at all. Or maybe, I guess, I don't know. It's...
Well, wait, so we'll reserve our opinion. You guys can watch our opinion on that.
These movies have never respected their history. And
it's just so upsetting. Like, that's not how you create a universe. Or end a universe.
Or make a movie.
Logan is how the X-Men universe ended. And that's what I just have to... Who cares that movies came after? Logan is how it ended. They told us what happened. Logan's great.
I just got a notification from AMC Theaters. Every hero has a dark side. Dark Phoenix rises this weekend. Get tickets.
No, thanks.
No.
I'm going to go see Rocket Man this weekend.
Good.
Rocketman's fun.
I'm going to see Last Black Man in San Francisco.
Ooh,
That's a movie
fuck
on my
yeah.
list.
Very
Yeah.
excited for that.
I'm also going to go see a little movie called Waiting for the Punchline tonight.
Oh, I'm going to do that too.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Speaking
fun.
of waiting for the punchline, time for some housekeeping.
Hell yeah.
For people that are watching live right now or watching on YouTube, like immediately after it gets
Immediately
posted.
after this, you can go over to kindoffunny.com/docfest and check out the details on the shenanigans tonight. We're going to be at the Roxy Theater at 9:15 watching a live screening of Waiting for the Punchline. Before that, of course, we're going to just pop over to Delirium Bar, have a couple drinks, and we're doing a little live comedy show for everyone featuring some of the comics that you're going to see in the documentary. And it's the NBA Finals today, so we'll see how long that comedy show goes. Because if that Finals game goes to like 8:30 and everyone wants to watch that instead, maybe we'll just drink and do that. Who knows? But for sure, the 9:15 showing is going to go on time.
A bunch of us are going to be there too, so
Yeah,
if
it's
you're
gonna
going to
be a
come
blast.
say hi.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
do
and
that.
shout out to everyone that came out to Laughs Unlimited last night, which I randomly mentioned that I was going to be in Sacramento last night, and a bunch of best friends came out. I was
That's
like, it was
awesome.
awesome.
You
Yeah,
guys
I
are
looked
the
out, I
best.
saw the hype hat, a bunch of producer shirts, and I was like, well, what the fuck? Let's go in.
That stage looked awesome.
Great venue, really, really fun. People that work there, I had a blast. 3 hours to get there, hour and 20 minutes to get back.
Yeah. A little bit of traffic. Yeah. All right. And again, no Patreon producers this week because you guys want us to fail.
I'm Burt Mag.
You know?
Get off your duff, Burt Mag.
Stop calling him out specifically. It's
That's all
weird.
I know. Oh, I guess
all
Mind
I
Freak.
know.
I guess Mind Freak's out there too.
A Patreon producer, that's a lot of money. But if you have Amazon Prime, you could give us Twitch Prime, and that's no money for you. You know what I mean? So do that. Look into how. On your own. This show is brought to you.
On your own. Wait, we would explain it to you.
No, I just
Fuck
no
you.
time. We're
Get off your
36
duff.
minutes in. This show is brought to you by our sponsors, MeUndies and Hims. But more about that later. Now it's time for the news.
News.
This is the news.
Why do you want to be
Don't
involved
worry.
in the news?
Don't worry.
be-
Just ignore him. Just ignore him. If we ignore him, that'll stop. It'll just stop because he'll
It's just
forget.
like a bad herpes infection. Eventually, I go away, but I'll come
man.
back, Barrett.
God.
Our first story,
Probably when
an
you're stressed out.
interesting one.
Yeah.
The Uncharted movie starring Tom Holland finally has a release date set for 2020.
Next year, dude.
Sony has set December 18th, 2020 as a release date for Uncharted, the video game adaptation starring Tom Holland as Nathan Drake.
Interesting date there. That's definitely there's no Star Wars movie this year. Let's try to get a blockbuster going. I'm not against it.
What do you think the chances of this movie actually being great are?
Great?
Slim.
Great.
Yeah.
Slim.
See, now
Not impossible.
Going with a younger Nathan Drake, Tom Holland,
Yeah.
like we're going to get like late teens,
We're gonna
early
get the worst
20s.
parts of Uncharted 3. Fuck you, Greg Miller.
What?
Oh, it's a
Fuck you, Tim
Fucking
Geddes.
blow your head
Okay,
off.
all right,
cartoons,
all
baby.
right, everyone calm down. All I'm saying is we're going to get a character that has a place to develop and become the Nathan Drake that we love so much.
Because that's everyone's favorite parts of movies, right? Is the part where they're not the thing we love.
Yeah.
Sure. Look, I understand that.
You know what I really wanted more of Batman Begins? The part where he wasn't Batman. That's what I really wanted.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
I like
You know,
the part
I really
where
wanted
he's...
more from James Bond, any of them. The part where he's not James Bond.
Okay,
Exactly.
but okay, both of you are being weirdly hating ass haters right now.
Yeah.
Nathan Drake has been, when we see him in Uncharted 1, he's been Nathan Drake for a while. So like I don't get the argument of like, oh, like I can't wait for a movie about
I feel like he's been Nathan Drake his entire life. Like, you know.
Some people say
At
he was
what
born
point are you
Nathan
making,
Drake.
Barrett?
what?
What point are you making?
That the point you guys, the comparison you guys are making is like, oh, I can't wait, like the movie of James Bond where he's not James Bond. Like that's not. It's apples and oranges. Like
What I'm saying is
But I think that's-
There is
that's
no
my
movie
fault.
of James Bond where he's not James Bond.
Casino Royale.
For like 5 minutes. And then he becomes James Bond like immediately. He gets
way.
007 status.
Yeah, I know, but he gets
But
the
like
status.
being James
but
Bond,
like,
I feel like is later.
he's a bitch for most
Doesn't
of that
matter.
movie, you know?
That's true.
What I'm saying is like if he's a young kid, it's not Nathan Drake yet. It's him becoming Nathan Drake. That's
I think they
Not
could.
what I'm looking
I
for.
think, all kidding aside, they could make it fascinating.
Yeah.
As a person who's not a huge fan of the video game series, but I have played the first
15
2 hours
minutes?
of
Yeah, there it is.
Uncharted 3 times.
The first one?
Yeah, the plane sequence. I've done it so many times. I could do it blindfolded at this point. Dare me to do something blindfolded.
No.
party mode.
I think it could be fun. I love Tom Holland. I think they could go in a fun direction with this. But I do see that they're gonna face criticism of him not being like the Nathan Fillion looking Nathan Drake, like the man's sort of Indiana Jones, like updated Indiana Jones, which is what Nathan Drake is. So we'll see what they do with it.
But at the same time, if Like, that's my bad. Like, I shouldn't have phrased it that way. Because, like, it very well could be like, hey, here's 20-year-old Nathan Drake with Sully, and they're going on adventures, and, like,
I'm sure that's what it will be.
That he's, you know, becomes on his...
I'm sure it'll be like a more PG-13 version of the new Dora the Explorer movie. God. And you know what? I'm in for it. I'm in there.
God, the more we talk about this, the less faith I have.
Mm.
Like, I hope
I'm totally ruining it for people.
Yeah.
Well, also, this is produced by... Sony's new production company, right?
Yeah, this is the company that's supposedly going to shepherd video games to movies.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think it is.
I think so too.
I think this is part of Sony Pictures, not PlayStation
Barrett,
Studios or whatever.
You get on the
called.
Googling.
I'll get into it, but I feel like this.
Just start typing.
All right, never mind.
There it is. All right.
No, it's not.
Okay.
People are saying it's not.
I mean, I'm just like, that wouldn't make sense time-wise. This has been in production for a bazillion years.
Has it? But like, that's the thing. Like, it's never happened. Like, it keeps getting not made.
I mean, they signed Tom Holland years ago, so like that, it's been in the process of being made.
I thought that was a rumor. I didn't realize that was for sure a thing. Anyways, whatever. It's happening. It's got a date. Are you excited?
I don't want to hate on it until I see a trailer or stuff, but I think that there's a very slim chance of this being worthwhile at all.
Nick, you're mildly excited?
No.
Okay.
No, I think this is going to be yet another disappointing movie that comes out of Sony that should have been better if it were in the hands of Disney. I think that the fact that we haven't really heard too much about this, the fact that there's no hype train based around this, it leads me to believe that they're not respecting the audience that loves the video game enough. And I feel like that's always the fucking problem with these movies is they go, oh, there's a built-in audience, we'll just shit something out and it'll be good. And then people go, no, did you even play the fucking game, people who are making this movie? Like, it's a great experience for people who love it, and you need to really pay respect to that. So we'll see what happens.
I think it's just going to be difficult to make Uncharted into a movie because it's very much a game that feels like a movie. And it's like, all right, we already have that. We know what that is. So doing this, why does it even have the Uncharted brand?
Yeah, I think my biggest thing about it is I don't think this needs to happen. Uncharted games are phenomenal, and like being in the game for hours is what makes it awesome.
What
and
makes the narrative what it is. And it's like just having the experience of him having the quips here and there. You can't get that in a 2-hour movie.
But I like Tom Holland.
I like Tom Holland.
We'll see. Like I'm definitely interested. And when we get a first trailer for this, in the next year, I'm gonna be interested. Yeah. All right, moving on to some sadder, somber news. Cancellation news. Swamp Thing officially canceled 6 days after the first episode airs. They had some budgetary issues. It's gone. It looked like it could be cool, but it's got a couple episodes coming out and then it's done.
This is the show that's on DC's streaming platform, right? Like, it's not. That's where you.
It's just DC Unlimited.
Yeah, I watched. I think we watched the preview.
The trailer we watched last week.
A couple weeks. Yeah, last week.
2 weeks maybe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not something I would watch and go, I need to give these people a subscription amount of money per month to watch this. But
for me, this is just more alarming for like, what state is this subscription service in that like one of their like big, like they were doing a big push for Swamp Thing and it's just canceled.
To me, it's not just alarming for DC. I think it's alarming for all streaming services where I think that there's been an upsetting trend recently of a push for originals and for that sign up, and then people just give up on stuff and things get canceled. And like even we see SyFy in the last week with Deadly Class.
Well, and that's the second part of the story. We also had Deadly Class get canceled
and one
this week
too from
SyFy.
Happy. Yeah. And a lot of these shows, like SyFy is a more traditional network, but there's a lot of subscription services you can get those shows on. And I feel like these things are kind of being made as almost like the headline. It almost feels like clickbait. Where it's like, all right, we're going to get you in with this thing. It's like, oh, but it's gone. It's not really there.
Well, I think that has more to do with like the people didn't watch it. Like Deadly Class, I don't think it, like I didn't watch it. You didn't watch it. And we both like Deadly Class, the comic, right? Yeah. And it's just, I know that Greg watched it. I knew very few people tweeting at me telling me that like it was worth, like I had a fair amount of people telling me it was worth it, but like I wasn't getting a huge amount of people saying like, oh, Deadly Class.
I mean, I just can't imagine that it was any less popular than other sci-fi shows. Like sure, maybe it cost more money and was more of an investment, but like that's what this is. It's like you got to put money into things for them to actually be good. And
hey, at least Krypton's going strong. Yeah, Keep going, Krypton. Come on, Cameron. Let's go.
Speaking of cancellations, Silicon Valley is ending with season 6.
Good.
They're announcing, great.
Good.
Yeah.
I honestly, it's been a roller coaster with Silicon Valley, with all the TJ Miller shit that happened, and with them having to reshape the show based on him leaving, and there was a season in there that I was like, I'm done watching the show, and the last season they kind of brought it back for me, so I was like, okay. I still think it's one of the funniest shows on television, even given those like kind of flaws with it. But I'm glad it's ending, and to be honest, like I was a lot more when Veep ended. I was like, wow, this is actually a lot more impactful to me than I thought it was going to be, because it's hard to see a show that, and Veep suffered the same problem where the last season, the final season was great. The season before that was fucking terrible. And so it's one of those things where it's like, just finish strong, HBO. Can we just finish strong with these shows? And Veep did, and then Game of Thrones didn't. I was like, oh no. So we'll see what happens with Silicon Valley.
I have high hopes for it. I'm happy it's ending. I totally agree that like it fell off the wagon story-wise, but comedy-wise it didn't. It's been consistently
still great moments,
the entire time.
I think I don't think
there's been a bad season. It's just been there's it's less funny than it used to be, or it's less important feeling as it used to be. It's like I used to care about the characters. I could not give a fuck less about them now.
Every episode now is such a roller coaster of like, it starts with like everything falling apart. And by the end they've kind of fixed it, and then
the
like
next one starts with everything fixed, and then it all falls apart by the end.
Yeah, season 1 through 3, I feel like that was the build of the like.
But that was the whole season.
Whereas from 4 on, it has been every episode. It's almost like Monster of the Week, but that doesn't work in a comedy show.
Right.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. I mean, again, TJ Miller having the problems that he had, it's unfortunate. But I love that character.
But
I love the Bachman character.
He left on his own accord. Like, no, I don't think so. I think
he was hard to work with.
I think he left because he was trying to work on other projects.
Was he?
I believe
he had that special, and then he had a lot of some stuff come out about him, and then he got arrested by the FBI. That it was like,
did he get arrested by the FBI?
Yeah, and everybody called a random bomb threat in on a train, and the fucking FBI arrested him.
Yep.
He had some problems.
Sure.
And I think that was, I think behind the scenes they were being very diplomatic about it for outwardly, but I think behind the scenes they were like, we got to get this guy off this fucking show. And I think it probably was to the detriment of the show. But hey, shout out to Kumail Nanjiani, because he's still fucking hilarious.
He's
and
great.
so is the other guy, Chris Starr, the guy that plays
Chris Starr.
Those two are fucking hilarious.
Oh,
and the goddamn guy that plays his right hand man, the tall dude.
Yes, that guy's my favorite.
My favorite thing about him is when we watch that show, I just watch my wife react to him, because she cannot stop laughing every time he says anything. He's so fucking good.
All right, our next story. I just want to do a quick look.
Martin Starr is his name. Sorry, the other guy.
Quick look at the Wonder Woman poster for Wonder Woman 1984. Barrett, I forgot to bring that up to you, and now he's all mad. Look at Barrett, he's all mad. All right, fine. Fuck it. No, it had a nice poster. It's fun. Barrett, it doesn't matter.
I want to see it. All right, everyone, take it down.
I was just going to move on to the
next. Bring me a Diet Coke. This is dope. Shut up, Tim. It's dope.
What?
You just gave me
Can
a look.
you
Like,
click
I don't
on
know.
the image?
I didn't look at you.
The audio listeners will never know.
Is it dope? I mean, like, it's a cool looking poster, but I just think, like, she's not going to keep this armor. We know that.
Who cares?
I don't know.
Here's the
deal. I think this is a great poster for the direction of what they're trying to do. Great. This is literally a message. Colors. We're DC. We have colors. I'm seeing it loud and clear, and I'm into it.
Yeah. Too little, too late, DC, but it doesn't matter. I'm in. I love anything set in the 80s, as you know. So let's just go. Let's go with it.
All right, and now talk about another streaming service that's going to come up and try to take your money.
Sorry, real quick in the chat, Revelisa in the chat says Wonder Woman Ragnarok. It's awesome.
Pretty much.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to be what it is.
No,
no.
Sadly, but that's okay.
It's cute to believe.
WarnerMedia streaming service could cost as much as $17 per month.
$17 per month
would include HBO and Cinemax.
So that's the thing, man.
That's not bad.
Keep your eye on this Warner shit.
That's not bad.
Like they are building an empire here, and I'm very Joey.
There's also some rumors that it'll be a tiered structure, and like the lower tier will just give you access to movies.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, the access to movie ones is the ones that I'm like, that could be interesting. Watching new movies,
I could do it.
Yeah,
I mean, look at that's. You tell me Warner Brothers $17, but I get a lot of the movies that are coming out. Like, I'm into it. I despite HBO's kind of ups and downs, I love having HBO. And whenever my wife gives me the look of we're spending too much money and then cancels it, it breaks my fucking heart.
Yeah.
But that's what marriage is, Kevin.
Yeah,
you'll learn that soon.
I'm married.
I know, but you haven't hit that. How long you been married for? A year.
A year and some change. Half almost.
Year and a half. It's right around the time they start canceling shit you love.
Hold on, give me 1 second, Barrett. I'm gonna Slack asset something that I want to bring up.
There's so many services. I hope someday they all fail and we consolidate in a beautiful way.
Fail.
Well, I mean, that's honestly what you're seeing with things like Swamp Thing, right? Is like there's with all these services comes some really standout pieces of content, but then a just whole host of mediocre shit.
Can you click on the Facebook link to the right? Yeah.
This guy?
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to imagine, like, these companies are spread so
thin. So this is what we're
thin.
getting in the streaming service?
I mean, that's what I'm saying is I believe yes.
I would, this is a dope, this is worth it.
They're building towards.
Based on CW, DC, HBO, Warner Brothers, anything that comes out, Warner Brothers is going to go on this? Absolutely. Fucking, what's that one that says Rooster Teeth?
Toonami,
Rooster Teeth, that's weird. Cartoon Network is in this too, or no?
Yeah.
Did I say
Cartoon
that?
Network,
TBS,
Adult
TNT. That means guess what we're getting, baby? Law and motherfucking Order, because that's where those are syndicated to.
And I'm not seeing it here, but DC.
Yeah, it's right there. He's circling.
Yeah. So it's
and
like
Toonami, man.
I feel like that we're building towards this weird thing where, sure, DC Universe might go away. It might be replaced with WarnerMedia.
It should.
Warner's,
DC does not
service.
have enough content to fucking make its own platform. It just doesn't. Sorry.
But isn't it combined with the comics too? Right? Isn't
To
it?
some degree, I think that you do get that in the subscription, but at the same time, like that's not enough to sell a mainstream person on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. My mom doesn't care about the fucking comics.
It just seems like so much though.
Or DC.
This doesn't seem like something I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
But
you could see
the
people
value
doing
in
that.
it.
Yeah.
If it's one of the only ways to get, if it's a really good way to get HBO, I would consider this. I would actually consider it. And Cinemax, because you know what you get with Cinemax. Skinemax.
Yep, I knew you were going to say that. All right, let's move on to some other streaming news. Netflix has announced Magic the Gathering animated series coming.
And Hunter Pence just got super excited.
Hunter Pence and my little
Directed
brother,
by?
super excited. Is it directed by?
I don't know. What do the Russo brothers have to do with it?
All I've read is that they are involved. When I go to try to find out more, all it says is that they're helping create it.
They're just executive.
Yeah.
They're just putting their name on it. That's it.
That's less exciting.
I'm sure if they're not directing it or directly producing it, if you haven't seen them talk about it, they're just getting a fucking paycheck for this fucking thing. And that's great. Good for them. They should. Because you know what? You gave us Endgame. And for that, I'll just give you money forever. How about that, Russo
I'm
brothers?
interested to see more as it develops, but, you know, cool. A bunch of nerds out there are excited, I'm sure.
Good. I mean, I
a
think
bunch
it's
of them are probably pissed. You know, these nerds, they get all worked up.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't care about Magic the Gathering, but I understand a lot of people do. I think that an animated show on Netflix could be really good.
Yeah.
It could be cool for the property, and especially with the Russo brothers, however they're attached. It's like, this is all good news for that. Like, if it was something I cared about, like, I'd be very excited about this.
I love that Magic the Gathering is still a thing. I love that there are people out there that are still playing it. Every once in a while,
Did you ever play it?
No, I never got into that. I tried to get into a couple other card games. I just couldn't do it because I just didn't have any fucking money, and you have to like buy decks and expansion decks and things like that. But I love getting my car washed. I get my car washed over on the Divisadero car wash, and there's a little tabletop gaming place there.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, I'll pop in, and I'll see people playing Magic, and it reminds me of being in high school. I love it. It's cool.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Just don't fuck it up like WoW.
Hunter and my little brother have tried to get me to play so many times.
You probably love it.
I owe my little brother like a sit-down session where he teaches me how to play. I haven't done it yet.
It looks fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's let's put it this way. It's been popular for 30 years.
Yeah,
so
it's a long time.
Something's good, you know? Something's good about it.
So that's cool.
Cool.
Another animated series that Netflix threw out there is Jurassic World, animated series called Camp Cretaceous. Cretaceous, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the Cretaceous
Yeah.
era?
I just have trouble with the
I want to say
letters at the end.
crustacean.
No, it's Cretaceous.
Yeah.
Stations are like crabs.
Those are like crabs, right?
Anyways, there's a series coming to Netflix that takes place in the 2015 Jurassic World timeline. Just a bunch of kids trying to getting trapped in the park.
we need more Jurassic World?
It's weird. The Isla Nublar
Nublar, yeah.
is gone. So I guess this show must take place.
Well, if there's one thing I've learned from the Jurassic Park movies is that there's multiple islands, and I don't understand any of them.
But that's not true. They undid that because they got rid of 2 and 3.
Did they?
I believe so.
Did they retcon that? I thought there was an island where there an island where they were like growing all the animals, and there's another island where they brought them over, and there was another island that was just like a animal fuck dungeon or whatever the hell. The old guy with the white hair was doing it.
Okay, Jesus Christ. I got
Sorry, sponsors.
Anyways, just another animated show coming to Netflix that I thought was interesting.
Well, I mean, what's interesting about this is the kid focus, and it's from Universal and Fast and Furious. It's the same thing. They're doubling down on super popular properties and trying to get kids hooked. Makes sense.
And then the last story that I wanted to bring out. Wait, hold on.
It's breaking news.
This comes from Variety. This is Joan Colette Serra eyed to direct DC's Black Adam starring Dwayne Johnson. Exclusive.
Cool.
Yeah.
Jungle Book director.
Yeah.
Not.
What?
No, it was the Andy. That's the Andy Serkis Jungle Book.
Great.
Because Favreau directed.
Were they both called Jungle Book? No, the other one was called Mowgli.
Oh, was it?
I don't know.
Oh, maybe this guy's.
Right, don't know shit.
I thought Favreau directed that one.
I mean,
Maybe he
do we
just
care
produced
about Black Adam right now?
No.
No. Like, I thought that Shazam movie was cool.
Haven't seen
I
it yet.
enjoyed it. Tim didn't like it that much.
Tim is.
Nope.
No, that's fair though.
I mean, it's just, I thought it was funny. Do I want to see
Listen,
this movie? I don't know.
I love The Rock.
I love The Rock. So,
I love The Rock.
Yeah.
And I want everyone to know I love The Rock. But The Rock hasn't. He's hit or miss a little bit, and mostly miss these days. Have you seen Skyscraper? It's not fun.
I don't like what you're saying, and I'm going to stop you right now. Last story, and I want to just touch on this one briefly because I'm very excited. Django / Zorro movie coming from Quentin Tarantino.
Hell yeah.
And Zorro.
What?
Carmichael.
Jerrod.
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 Are you fucking serious?
So get this.
First off, don't believe it. This is too good to be true.
So as of right now, it's only confirmed that Jerrod Carmichael is working on it. There's rumors that Quentin Tarantino is also helping, but apparently there is there's a comic book
Of Django?
of Django / Zorro.
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah, it's
That
right here. Look
is
at
a
this.
sequel. That is an actual sequel to the story.
This is amazing. It's written by Quentin Tarantino.
Hell.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta
How do
read
we not
this.
know this?
This is awesome. This would be a fucking awesome movie. This would be awesome.
I'm excited because I fucking love Django. Obviously,
I love Django.
Also,
Zorro's cool as hell.
Cool Greg loves Zorro.
Dude.
So
The Antonio Banderas, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Anthony Hopkins Zorro. One of my all-time favorite movies.
What about
It's
the
so
second
fun.
movie?
No.
Mask of Zorro.
The first one was real good.
both
First
of
one
them.
really
Yeah.
good.
This is really
First one
cool.
real
I
good.
hope this happens.
Yeah, I
it
hope
sounds
this
very
happens too.
improbable, but man, that's really cool.
Be cool.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
All right, now it's time for some ads. You probably spend about 90% of your life in underwear. So, don't you think you owe it to yourself to make sure you're wearing the softest undies in town? That's why Tim and Greg only wear MeUndies. MeUndies uses the coveted micromodal fabric, which is a full 3 times softer than cotton. Not only will you feel like your loins are being hugged by joy itself, but MeUndies gives you multiple style options for both men and women. Men can now try the new boxer brief with flies, which is the same great cut as the boxer brief, but now with an added option for guys who prefer to go through the gate versus over the fence. MeUndies is also the go-to for the softest loungewear on the planet. Hang out with the super comfy lounge pants or the onesies. Yes, MeUndies makes onesies, and I love the onesies. I actually just started using the onesies like every day at my house. It's phenomenal. It's so soft. To get your 15% off the first pair, shipping, and 100% satisfaction guaranteed, go to MeUndies.com/morning. That's MeUndies.com/morning. Our next ad is Hims. 66% of men start to lose their hair by age 35, and once you've noticed thinning hair, it can be too late. Hims is helping Hims is helping guys be the best version of themselves with licensed physicians and FDA-approved products to help their hair treat hair loss. No snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements, prescription solutions backed by science. Hims was created by a guy who knows Some men's health conversations are easier online than in person. No awkward in-person doctor visits or long pharmacy lines. 4Hims connects you to real doctors online, which could save you hours. Completely confidential and discreet, unless you're Nick and Andy, because we talk about that stuff all the time.
We have no secrets here at Kind of Funny. No secrets.
Answer a few questions a doctor will review, and if they determine it is right for you, can prescribe you medication to treat hair loss that is shipped directly to your door. Nick has been able to do this, so you know how simple it must be. No offense, Nick.
Dare you all?
No offense, Nick.
It's true. It's true. If it's more than 3 steps, I get confused,
so
and I just
easily.
put the phone down and never come back to it.
You can get started today with 4Hims Complete Hair Kit for just $5 today, right now, while supplies last, and subject to doctor's approval. See website for full details, safety information. This could cost hundreds if you went to the doctor's or pharmacy somewhere else. Go to 4hims.com/KFMS. That's FORHIMS.com/KFMS. 4hims.com/KFMS.
Nailed it.
Now let's talk about some goddamn trailers.
Let's get into them trailer talk, baby.
Trailer talk. First trailer, For All Mankind. Not a trailer I thought you guys would particularly love, but I thought the concept was really cool.
Is this the Apple TV one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and that actually was
the
the
more important
main
note,
reason
yeah.
why I put this in there. Yeah. Good catch on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the story seems interesting. Like, you watch, what, a third of it, and you're like, okay, so this is just about the space race. And then it's like, oh, no, in this world, the Russians got there first, and, like, that lit a fire under our ass, and we kept developing shit.
Cool concept.
Looks like a cool drama. Looks like it's really well shot.
Yeah, it looks high quality.
Yeah.
Good for Apple.
Yeah.
Hopefully it takes off. But
Like space.
yeah. No, I thought it looked really, really interesting.
Yeah. Did it at all make you think maybe this Apple Plus thing not crazy?
No.
It's an interesting take on that kind of a story. It's very Man in the High Castle-y. But like Man in the High Castle, I watched the first season of that. I'm like,
that show is boring.
It's depressing. There's no end in sight. It's the same reason why I haven't watched The Handmaid's Tale. I'm just like, I don't really want to watch like 3 or 4 seasons of people just being horribly oppressed.
Super depressing.
So this looks kind of cool. I like the main character, the guy that played. He was on Mad Men. The younger guy, like the smaller guy. I think he played like someone's brother. Like January Jones's brother. Doesn't matter. He's the guy giving the speech the whole time. He's like, we're going to beat him. We're going to get there. We're going to get to Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Venus, all of the solar system, the galaxy. Yeah. I just don't like that Joel Kinnaman, though. I'm just not a Joel Kinnaman fan.
Okay.
That's all.
Next movie I want to talk about, and this one I'm very excited for. Ford versus Ferrari.
Ooh.
Looks good.
I had no idea this movie was coming.
Me neither.
You know, I'm oblivious to everything.
Sure.
And a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I believe it was on the morning show and or one of the podcasts, I talked about a documentary called The 24-Hour War, which is a documentary made by Adam Carolla, who is a huge car fan and racing fan, about this exact subject. It is one of the most fascinating pieces of automotive history, and it's unbelievably, like it's almost unbelievable that it happened. Are you familiar with this at all?
Just from the trailer.
So the trailer is, the way the story goes for anyone, this is my pitch for you on this movie, is that a long time ago, Ford approached Enzo Ferrari to buy Ferrari because they wanted Ferrari to become their official race team, because they wanted to sell more of their basically just normal cars, but they needed some cachet for it. And the way you got cachet back in the day was winning big races like Le Mans, which is a 24-hour race. Ford,
which is a crazy ass concept.
24-hour race. You have 3 racers, I believe, and they race in like I don't know how many hours in the car, but it's like 3 hours. And you get out, and the next guy gets in, and then you race. Super dangerous, very fucking crazy. But to anyone who's like a car racer, it is like the pinnacle of what you can possibly accomplish if you win.
And this documentary you're talking about right now is on Prime, right?
It's on Amazon Prime. You can go watch it. I urge everyone to go watch it because it's so fascinating. But the story goes that Ford approached Enzo Ferrari because they wanted to buy Ferrari. Ferrari told them to go fuck themselves. So Ford goes, cool, if we can't buy you, we're going to end you. And they went over to Carroll Shelby.
We're going to solve this with a race.
Dude, no, it wasn't even a race. It was we are going to put you out of business. We're going to beat you every time and put you out of business, basically. They were just assholes about it. Went over to Carroll Shelby, who was an engineer, and they said, we need you to make
Shelby Mustang.
Well, first off, he made the Shelby Cobra, and then the Shelby Mustang. But that's not the car he made for this. The car he made for this was
Cobra not a Mustang?
It is.
there was the Shelby Cobra was a car that Shelby made to race. So if you look, it's that old school style car where like super dangerous because it doesn't have a top. People just wear helmets and like if it rolls, you'd get decapitated. And they approached him to basically make the Ford GT, which is that car that you see in the trailer, the one that looks like Speed Racer, and arguably the coolest fucking car ever made. He came in to make that for them, and then it just became this war for years between Ford and Ferrari of who would win Le Mans.
Now they're adding Brad Pitt and Christian Bale.
That's awesome.
Let's go, baby.
Well, no, it's Matt Damon and Christian Bale. Brad Pitt's the one in the next one. I may have gotten some of the details on that wrong, but it's a fucking absolutely fascinating story. Watch the documentary and then go see this movie. It's going to be cool.
It looks like it's going to be a really cool movie. And like the casting is phenomenal. Christian Bale's a psychopath.
Yeah.
Like in real life. And he plays a great on the hinge person in like movies.
He plays Ken Miles, who's a racer, and he's a British racer, if I'm not mistaken.
It sounds like it.
Who I think had raced for Ferrari, and they hired him to race for Ford, which is like that was a big kerfuffle. I might have gotten that wrong too, but it's really I haven't seen the documentary in years, but it's a really really cool story, and because of that rivalry, a lot of cool engineering came from that. And yes, that's where you do get the Shelby Mustang, which is one of the most rare and like collectible items or collectible cars out there.
Super expensive,
really fucking cool.
Yeah, always cool looking.
It's very cool.
Shelby on the back.
Shelby was one of those guys like that would come in and like he would take a car that had like 200 horsepower and figure out a way to make it have like 500 horsepower. It's fucking awesome.
Movie looks cool.
Yeah, it does.
Moving on to our next trailer, Ad Astra. This is Brad Pitt.
This is the Brad Pitt movie. Tommy Lee Jones. Kind of looks cool, only in that it's a sci-fi action movie, but set with modern space technology, which I haven't seen before.
Right.
So mostly, a lot of times you see, and I'm sure we'll see different stuff as we see different trailers. But a lot of times you think of movies like Life, or these movies that are supposed to be modern times, but the spacesuits all look super futuristic,
really cool,
and there's a lot of tech in there that you're like, we don't fucking have that. So what draws me to this movie is that we're seeing Brad Pitt, like in action sequences, but in the big clunky spacesuits. That I think could probably add a lot to like the tension,
stress,
and like the stress of this whole thing, because like you can't really move in him. There's that shot of him like riding on the moon, shooting guns at people. I'm like, all right, Brad Pitt, I'm in.
Fucking cool.
The shot of them falling in space is really really cool. Yeah, I don't know. This one didn't sell me as much as the Ford Ferrari one did. Like I don't really have interest in seeing this. Ford Ferrari, I do.
Cool. One thing I forgot to mention about Dark Phoenix is when it starts, and this isn't a spoiler. There's a shuttle going off, and I watched it in Dolby. Holy shit. As a magical experience. And like, that's probably why there's so many space trailers in this week's thing. Because I can't wait to watch a goddamn movie where we're getting a shuttle taking off. Movie. Yeah. In Dolby, because it's going to be amazing.
I want to give a quick shout out going back to Ford versus Ferrari, because the director of that movie is James Mangold, which means it's going to be fucking great. James Mangold, of course, Logan. Directed that movie, the movie we like to call Logan,
the Wolverine,
and the fucking Wolverine. It's gonna be really good. That movie just looks like so much fun.
It looks like it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
I hope it's not super long though.
Because I could also,
it's
gonna be long. It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
the story. If you watch the documentary is long. It unfolds over the span of years because they keep battling back and forth. And it's just cool.
But I'm sure that this movie is going to just take place the first one.
Very, very, very dangerous race. A lot of people die. It's including spectators because they just let people sit on the side of the road and watch, and cars would just take them out. It's fucking crazy.
Christ.
It's a fucking bonkers like Wild Wild West time of racing back then. Really cool.
And then moving on to our last trailer. It's not really a trailer. It was more of a TV spot. The Lion King. We got a little bit more talking. Not doing it for you?
This one didn't do it for me.
I just, and I know it's me. And again, this is the same issue I had with all these live action remakes. Is they're just not right for me. I don't know. I'll go see this, and I love The Lion King. And if they have the music, and it's what's cool to me is seeing the new voice actors come in. Like we get that shot with Timon and Pumbaa.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, okay, it's interesting to see like Seth Rogen's take on that. I don't know.
Beyonce as Nala, I totally buy it. Like there's so much shit that I'm all about. The music is going to be fantastic. Even in this, we see it, and it's great. Everything about this trailer I loved, with the exception of the animation of their faces. There's just, I've said this a million times now, but there's just something about hand-drawn animation, like 2D animation, that allows you to just be unrealistic, whereas the focus of this is being realistic. And I think that takes away the fun of these characters, or the compassion of these characters. Like Nala telling Simba, come home. I'm just looking at him, I'm just like, there's a lion. You're not like a character.
It is. It's very. It's just so interesting because like you that's spot on. That's exactly what the problem I have with these.
Interesting.
It really is that there's just no. It takes some of the magic away when you try to make it as hyper realistic as possible. It's just not as fun. And it doesn't make any sense because you're like, that's a real ass lion and it's talking. You know what I mean? Like, like it doesn't. There's a part of my brain that's so analytical that it just will not allow me to like these movies because it's so uncanny valley area. It just doesn't work. My brain's like, that's not a real lion, but it looks like a real lion. But lions can't articulate their fucking mouths to say English words. It's just very weird.
I see the Timon and Pumbaa part. I liked. I was like, oh look, this. Like, I guess I wasn't paying enough attention. Like, I wasn't looking at their faces. I was kind of like the body language and like everything reminded me of the cartoon. And to me, it's the same issue of comparing Zelda Twilight Princess to Zelda Wind Waker. Wind Waker will always age better than Twilight Princess because Twilight Princess was trying to be this dark, gritty, realistic looking thing, whereas Wind Waker was trying to be expressive and seeing Link's eyes move and like there's just so much character to the character. And I feel like with Lion King, we're seeing kind of the Twilight Princess effect, where it's like, all right, it's a great game. But
the same effect to the live action Beauty and the Beast as well, of like, and Nick's talked about it before, where like these animated characters like the clocks and the lamp and all that stuff, like you see their expressions in the live action remake, you can barely understand what their faces are. So
it's just convoluted.
It's too complex.
Right.
Yeah. Too much shit going on.
It's tough.
All right, well, it's time for out now on streaming platforms. Quite a bit today. Hulu, you've got Ask Dr. Ruth, the documentary premieres this week. A Brilliant Young Mind. I don't think I meant to put that in there. I don't know what that is. Along Came a Spider, American Psycho, Behind Enemy Lines, Dante's Peak, The Devil Wears Prada, a movie Tim hasn't seen.
Never seen it.
Hamlet, the 1991 with Mel Gibson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Waiting, movie I really enjoy.
I can't watch it. It gives me anxiety.
Oh man, it did not age well. Whoo! Just watched it.
Inappropriate.
You've never seen?
It's Ryan Reynolds where he's
extremely
they're waiters, and I couldn't watch it because I was waiting tables at the time, and I was like, this is way too close to real life.
It did not age well at all. Kindergarten Cop, Point Break, Reindeer Games, Reservoir Dogs.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I'm down for Kindergarten Cop and Point Break right now. Let's watch them today. Back to back to back.
District 9, Jackass 3.
Jackass 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The Handmaid's Tale season 3 premieres, and then Shakespeare in Love. So that's Hulu in the United States. If you're elsewhere, it's different. Google it though. It's good to know what's out.
Watch the European version of this show. Screencast with an umlaut.
Netflix has Black Mirror season 5, which doesn't seem like it's getting that much love. From what people have been saying. I haven't checked it out yet, though. In movie theaters near you, we've got Dark Phoenix, a movie that you should just skip. Just skip it. The Secret Life of Pets 2, Late Night.
Not getting good reviews.
Which one?
Secret Life of Pets.
Did you watch the first one?
I didn't watch it, but I just everyone's talking about like how this one's really not good.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
The first one was not great. I watched it. It's just not very good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then The Last Black Man in San Francisco, a movie that looks phenomenal.
Here it's really good.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying it's really good. Getting good reviews. Excited.
All right, last week I asked you for your recos. Here they are.
Give me them recos.
Eric Meyer says, what's up? Got a recommendation for you. Not enough people watched Hannibal, which is better than it has any right to be. All 3 seasons are on Amazon Prime Video, and it got me to notice cinematography and gave me an interest in cooking, which I probably should be concerned about on that one because he eats people.
He's a cannibal. Hannibal the cannibal.
Hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for all you do, Eric. Thank you, Eric. Nick, you've been recommending this show for years. In fact, someone sent it in.
Someone sent me that.
They're right there.
Are they?
Yeah. Well, they're in the wall.
I should watch it. No, I don't have an interest to watch this. I like Mads Mikkelsen. I think he's cool, but it's a lot of people say it's great. I'm just, no thanks.
Yeah. Jeremy Z says, here are some movies I recently watched that were on my catalog for a while. Demolition, which I thought when I put here was Demolition Man, which is a great movie.
Great
and that's
movie.
what you should watch.
Now all restaurants are Taco Bell.
Nocturnal Animals, which is a movie I'm super interested in
I have not
watching.
seen that yet.
I really want to.
What platform is it on?
I don't know.
He's just saying watch it.
Yeah, he just watched these recently.
Yeah.
3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Great movie.
Movie I really
Fucking
enjoyed.
great movie.
Moon. Didn't
Great
like Moon
movie.
so much. I didn't
love it.
It just pisses me off.
It's why?
Just because it's such a like cyclical thing that like
Don't spoil it for people.
why I mean
Don't spoil it for
okay,
people.
all right. Well,
I can understand. That's what it's
Prisoners
supposed to do.
and Contact.
Oh, Prisoners.
Contact's,
Is Prisoners the one with Hugh Jackman?
I don't know.
That movie was fucked up. If
Contact's
that's
a
what I'm
great
thinking of,
goddamn
Denny
movie,
Villeneuve.
though.
That's the Denny Villeneuve movie.
Unintentionally, a lot of Jake Gyllenhaal representation in here. Not that that's a bad thing. Cool.
Yeah, dude, Prisoners was fucked up. Woo.
The Dead Man 97 says Black Sails. It's basically Game of Thrones, but with pirates. It's all you need to know. It's my favorite show of all time, and a lot of people have watched it. It follows Captain Flint and Long John Silver 20 years prior to Treasure Island, and it's a must-watch. In the UK, you can watch it on Amazon Prime. I looked into it. You can watch it on Hulu in the US, and the whole series is 4 seasons made up of 10 episodes each.
Cool.
Sounds interesting.
Fantastic.
Next week, if you want to send in your response, you can go to patreon.com/kindafunny. Go to the bronze level tier and tell me what you want to see from Marvel. Like what the next slate that you want to see coming out of there is. Let me know. Keep it short, 140 characters. Don't go too much longer. We'll dive into that next week. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to follow us on the social medias, you can go to Nick_Scarpino.
Hell yeah.
And follow him there. At Tim Geddes. And you can follow me at Kinda Funny Kevin. That's right.
Yeah,
He's right.
Nailed it.
He's right.
Go to the movies. Check something out that's awesome, like The Last Black Man in San Francisco. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm only hearing great things. Don't waste your money on Dark Phoenix. Hope you all have a great weekend.